My dear friends, this past week as I read various books and articles, I encountered four phrases that provided me with material for thought, meditation, and prayer. The first was a phrase that resonated for me in this time of coronavirus. It comes from the history of the Second World War. It was 1942, and England had just achieved its first great victory in the war. The people of England were jubilant and looking forward to a final victory. Winston Churchill gave a speech in which he reminded them of the great sacrifices still to come. Now, he said, this is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is, perhaps, the end of the beginning. I think of where we are as a parish in this time of COVID-19. We are slowly returning to a normal Mass schedule. We have implemented strong safeguards so that we can gather again for liturgy. We can be hopeful, but we need to be patient. There is still a lot to come for us as a society and as a church. This is not the end of the pandemic. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. There is much to do. And so the second phrase I encountered comes to mind. It is a motto that the Jesuits in Australia adopted some years ago. Oftentimes, we are tempted to use the name of God in inappropriate ways, perhaps when we are surprised or shocked or disgusted by something. Encountering someone doing something that shocks us, we might say, "What on earth are you doing? For Christ's sake!" The Jesuits took this little phrase seriously and asked of themselves and of us, what on earth are you doing for Christ's sake? That is a question for today. What are you doing for Christ's sake? Another little phrase comes from a minister, Methodist minister, who wrote, "Christians are not meant to be salespeople for the gospel. We are called to be free samples of it." What are you doing right now for Christ's sake? This past Friday, a group of our fellow parishioners serving in our parish social ministry fed more than 1,200 families who needed help in this time of trouble and offered them a free sample of the gospel. Every Sunday, at every Mass, a dedicated group of our fellow parishioners undertakes to protect us and ensure that we maintain necessary precautions, offering a free sample of the gospel to us and to everyone who comes seeking the Lord. What are you doing for Christ's sake? Perhaps you too can serve on a Friday or Sunday morning. The fourth phrase comes from Friday's responsorial psalm, Psalm 37. We may be anxious and worried. We may be conflicted about what we can or should do. And the psalm speaks to us. Trust in God and do what is good. It is that simple. This is Labor Day. We honor all those who work for their own good, the good of their families, the good of their brothers and sisters, the good of society. We honor all those who in their daily work, whether in a refinery or in a shop, whether in an office or on the road, whether in a classroom or in their home, contribute through their work and service to others in building up the kingdom. What are you doing for Christ's sake? Trust in God and do good.